Okay, so moving on to if error function. And as I've summarized in this box here, it says if error identifies errors that originated from the formulas or functions and excludes them. So I've got the total here, which is basically me adding up all these figures with a simple formula. I have added up this figure with this figure and this figure, and here is the total. Now I can use autofill to fill in this table. Just click, hold and drag, and as you can see it comes back with two error messages. And I can see why these messages are here, because I have this text from these cell here, and obviously Excel has seen that. I'm trying to add up some figures here and has come across these cells with text, and it can see that there is a problem. So let's use if error to do this instead. So we are going to end up with the same results, except when it comes to these two error messages. I want it to say something else. I want it to say error or any word that I want. Or maybe I could just specify a blank cell or whatever the case is. So we'll start with equals if error open parentheses, and what I need to do now is basically repeat my simple formula that I wrote in this cell. Then I'm going to add the sort of answer that I want back if they don't all add up. So I'll go get my first cell value here and I'll just add them all. I'll put in a comma now and my double quotes in here. And what I want to do is I want, like I said, the if error function to look through these cells that I'm adding up, and if it sees any type of error, so in this case it would be the two words that are within these two cells here, then give me back this answer. Now I could, if I want to just have a blank cell, give them back to me, and I could just do that by putting in two double quotes and putting a space and closing off the function. And now I can press enter and you can see it's giving me back the same figure here, which is good. And I can use autofill to fill in this table. And you can see it's just giving me back this empty cell here to say that you'd actually have an error here with the data. Or I can just come back to these double quotes here, type in a specific word that I want to use. I'll press enter to that. Click, hold and drag to fill in this column. And you can see that the word error has shown up. And why is this with red background? Because I have used some conditional formatting for the word error. And I'll show you how to do that. Just select the word and come to conditional formatting, highlight cell rules equals to, now type in error, select custom format, fill, and just select color red and press OK. Press OK to that. And now if any of these entries are changed, you can see we have an error message. Like if I change this to high, well, not really Excel specific error message, but rather an error message that I have created myself. So that's how if error works. And we will be using this once again in the tutorial towards the end. Okay, we're gonna move on to count if now, and it is very similar to average if and sum if. But I would say this one is even more simple. So all this is going to do is try and find out the number of entries for each of these metal categories. So for steel, we should have a total number of 3 because there are 3 entries. And I think the rest of them only have 2 entries each. So equals count if open parentheses. It's asking for the range, which will be this column here, and I'll make it absolute, and my function is covered up again. So I'll just click inside the formula bar and then come back down here in the formula, and now it's just asking for the criteria, and that would be H105, and of course I do need to put my comma there first, which I've already done, and we'll press enter to that. Okay, so it's come back as 3, and like I said, the rest of them should each be 2. So now we'll just click, hold and drag. So there you go. So now we are going to move on to something called sum product. Now, I have heard this from some student in the past. When they hear sum product for the first time, they think that this has something to do with the products. So, products being sold in a shop, and this is some type of function that is dedicated to or designed when it comes to taking a stock take. Well, in this case, we are talking about a certain type of stock, which in this case are car components, but some product hasn't actually got anything to do with products in the context of shop or online shop or anything like that. And I explained it here in this bottom box where I say, remember the word product within the sum product function refers to the result of multiplication. Alright, so with the sum product, and I have just explained it in the box here, it eliminates unnecessary steps that need to be taken in order to find a total. So first of all, I'm going to take you through those extra steps that we will be able to eliminate by using sum product function. So first of all, we have this column here, which is estimated sales. So this would be the cost for this first car component multiplied by 27 here, and the answer would go in here. So let's quickly just write this out. Equals to, we'll select the cost and multiply this by the estimated sold, and we'll click enter. Now we'll just click, hold and drag and fill in this column. And then I will move on to the next one, which is total sold. So equal sign will go in, I'll go get the cost from here and then multiply it by the total sold and then hit enter, and then just simply click, hold and drag. So the whole idea behind this exercise is to find out the total for estimated sold alongside the total for total sold. And in order to add up all these figures here, I can just come to auto sum and then hit enter. So we'll just double click on that. Now you can see the total sum here. Then I'll do the same with this one here. I'll just go to auto sum function, then I'll hit enter. And you'll do the same with this here also. So with sum product function, you are basically eradicating all this process here, and you are basically just jumping straight to find out what the answer is like, what we added up at the end. That's all we are going to do with the sum product. So I'll just come to this cell here, equals to sum product, open parentheses, and first of all I have to go and select my first array from here, and it doesn't need to be absolute because I'm not going to use autofill to fill in this. Comma will go in. Now all I need to do is to go and get my next array from here, and if I really wanted to, I can put another comma in and then select this array here as well. But what you would find is that the answer would just be astronomical, because the first array would get multiplied with this array and then it would be multiplied by this third array, etc. But all I really need to do is just multiply the first array by the second array, so that within the sum product we get these answer here, the 2133 and 4420, etc. I can now just close this off and hit enter, and you can see straight away we have just jumped to the answer here. $25735. So let's move on to the next one. Equals sum product, open parentheses. So I'll go get my first array from here, and then I will select my second array from here. I'll close this off and just press enter, and there you can see the answer is correct. So basically we have eliminated the step here. And as you can see, the actual process of writing out the sum product is brutally simple. But what really took so long was just trying to explain how it works. Hopefully you will remember that one because it is very useful one to know.